I am Moot, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a planeswalker not entitled to the cards in their deck? No, says the man at Wizards. It belongs to the shareholders. No, says the collector. It belongs in a case. No, says the combo player. They belong in exile. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the thrill of shuffling up. I chose Foundation. A place where brewers aren't afraid of jank, where even a 2-mana creature can become a legend, where the greatest decks are forged by the boldest ideas. And with the luck of your draw, Foundations can become your playground as well.
What's up, Planeswalkers? How you doing? How you doing? We continue to build on our foundations. I've got a crazy strong commander today. We're looking at none other than Zul Ashur, Lich Lord, a 2-mana 1-black and 1 colorless 2/2 zombie that comes with ward and a tap ability that reads, you may cast target zombie creature card from your graveyard. Pretty unassuming at first, but after rigorous testing, I've determined that this card is really good. Why? Because we've gotten insane value in the vast majority of our games, and that's without putting it in the 99 out of an Intruder Alarm zombie deck. Having the ability to recast our zombie cards in the command zone is key to why this deck is so annoying for our opponents. Now, to describe our deck, we're a mix of a grindy mid-range zombies with the ability to combo off pretty quickly, thanks to cards like Entomb and others that work with our commander. That said, it's definitely not CDH level, but I think we could upgrade it to get it there. Now let's talk about the budget. The mana base alone is around $200, so if you need the price to go down, start there. Okay, grab your shovels and let's talk zombies. Zombies. We're running a lot of them. That means to make things easier on myself, we'll be going old school with the deck tech today, meaning I'll break all the cards down based on their type. So for creatures, we have Carrion Feeder, as a lot of our combos require a sack outlet, and being able to sack your zombies in response to a swords or other exile removal is great. Champion of the Perished, in case we need to beat players down, which half the time we will be doing. Crypt Breaker is a great source of card draw. Gravecaller could sneeze and we'll be able to combo off with it. Of course, be careful playing this out early, as people do tend to know what this card gets up to, so they'll exile it. Shambling Ghast is yet another combo zombie. Importantly here, it is the death trigger, letting you make the treasure that makes it so great. Stitcher Supplier is pure card advantage, since we want to fill our graveyard fast for our commander. Accursed Marauder is part of our grind package, since we'll make everyone sack and then recast this card from our graveyard with our commander. Mire Triton is more card advantage, and the Death Touch makes it a nice blocker. Undead Augur is more, you guessed it, more card advantage, but this time our zombies need to die for us to get the cards. Undead Butler is another small weenie that's filling our graveyard, and in case we need it, we can use this card to get a creature into our hand. Arch Ghoul of Thraben lets us dig through our deck and put zombies in our hand. Death Baron is a powerful lord, giving us some more damage and makes blocking our zombies miserable. Diregraph Colossus is still putting in work all these years later, letting us make an absurd amount of zombies, and what's great about this is that it is on cast. Fellstinger is some repeatable card draw that we can sack itself to its own trigger to draw the cards and then recast it with our commander. Fleshbag Marauder is a classic that's aiming to do the exact same thing as the Accursed Marauder. Headless Rider gives us some non-exile board wipe protection. The card would be insane if it weren't for Wizards printing exile board wipes like their bulk rares. Still, just in case, it's worth playing it. Lord of the Accursed is slowly getting worse in my opinion with all the new zombies we're getting, but I think the Menace is still worth it because it can close out a few of your games. Lord of the Undead can return zombies from our graveyard to our hand if we find there are better things to do with our commander. Plague Belcher is part of another combo that we can use to drain our opponents out. What's important here is the negative counters that we can place on it when it enters. Unstoppable Slasher can be easy to combo with, but believe it or not, we're actually playing this card fairly, if you call a creature that drains people for half their life total fair. Warren Soul Trader is another sack outlet we can go infinite with, but we do need some kind of drain to help us not die. Zombie Master can make our zombies unblockable thanks to our expensive mana base, and the regenerate can be useful. Graveborn Muse has killed me before, but hey, can you really say it's losing if you draw 23 cards? On a serious note though, this card does draw a lot, just make sure you have a sack outlet in case things go a little too well. Pitiless Plunderer is one of our only non-zombies that we're playing, but its ability to combo off with other cards is just way too good to pass up on. Grey Merchant of Asphodel is here to help keep us alive, as we do have a lot of cards that drain our life total. Plus, we can go infinite with this card and drain the table if needed. Noxious Ghoul is our board wipe on a stick. We can usually make enough zombies to keep most of the creatures off our opponent's boards. Grave Titan is another non-zombie card, but with how many zombie tokens it makes, it's earned its place in the deck. Machias the Unhallowed allows our Plague Belcher combo, and when it's not doing that, it's making our board really resilient. Rot Hulk can be a fun reanimate target, and even fairly casting it means it's bringing a whole army with it. We are playing a few Planeswalkers, and they're Lilianas, of course. So first we have Liliana Untouched by Death, so we can minus it immediately and start comboing off if we have a sack outlet, and everything else the card does is just flavor text, because when we're playing this card, it usually means we're about to win the game. Liliana Dreadhorde General, because we love cards, and the minus on this card can be super relevant. Onto the spells, we have Corrupted Conviction as a way to get us some value out of our ETB zombies. We can cash them in and draw a few cards and then recast them with our commander. Dark Ritual for those explosive turns. Entomb, Unmarked Grave, and Buried Alive all tutor out combo pieces, and thanks to our commander, we don't need to rely on a reanimate spell to cast them. But speaking of reanimate, we are playing it along with Exhume and Persist to bring back some more expensive cards early. Tragic Slip is the start of our removal. I love this card since it's pretty easy for us to get one of our creatures killed. Feed the Swarm and Withering Torment are pure enchantment hate since Leyline of the Void and Rest in Peace destroy our deck. Imp's Mischief to steal time warps or redirect counterspells for some fun. Withering Boon because who says you have to play blue to counter creatures? I love this card because no one ever expects the black deck to be able to counter a card. Toxic Deluge so we can board wipe on the cheap. Victimize is another way for us to bring back creatures, and the price of sacking a creature is almost nothing to a deck like ours. Flare of Malice and Snuff out so we can tap out and still keep up some interaction. And finally, Blasphemous Edict because it's new and I want to see what we can do with this card. So far, I've cast it once and it did its job. Always feel free though to put a Damnation in this spot if you want to. For our enchantments and artifacts, we have Jet Medallion and Bontu's Monument for some cheap discount, and Phyrexian Altar is a combo sack outlet that can make us infinite mana. Ripples of Undeath is a good way to fill our graveyard and get extra cards out of the deal. Bastion of Remembrance so we can drain the table while we perform our infinite death loops. Black Market Connections is ramp and card draw. Yes, the shapeshifters are also zombies, but be careful with your life total. Endless Ranks of the Dead for even more zombie tokens. Grave Pact and Dictate of Erebos to make our sack loops and flesh bags hit all the more harder. Really, this card can be pretty oppressive in your mid-range games. Meathook Massacre 2 for some removal, and the extra value is nice, just be careful what you bring back as it will exile itself when it dies. Whip of Erebos because with the amount of life loss we have, we do want that life gain, and its activated ability on a card like Grave Titan is always nice. Virtue of Persistence for both the removal and the reanimation. Funeral Room and Awakening Hall is our Dark Realms replacement since we can play it early for an aristocrat effect. Yes, I know we won't steal everything from our opponents, but I'm sure we can make do. For the mana base, I recommend selling your kidneys to afford it, and if you need, feel free to copy the mana base I'm using. It can be found in the deck list in the description of this video. My recommended land for this deck is War Room since it's budget friendly and we love drawing extra cards. For the combo section, I'll be showing off one of our infinite death loop combos. For this combo, you'll need a Grave Crawler, a zombie of some sort, I'm using a Playcrafter, and a Phyrexian Altar. Once all these cards are on the battlefield, we can combo off. We'll activate the Phyrexian Altar and sack the Grave Crawler, making a black mana. Plague Belcher will trigger, drain our opponents for 1. Thanks to Grave Crawler's text, we can cast it from the graveyard, so using the black mana we made from the Phyrexian Altar, we'll cast it again. We can now repeat this process to drain the table out fully. Thanks for getting this far in the video, and I hope you enjoyed the deck list. Let me know how I did or tell me about your favorite zombie card in the comments below. For me, it's gotta be Crypt Breaker. That's gonna be all for now, so take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.